Coming into Desert Oasis here, where this story really starts. Now we just buzzed up here about 60, 70, 80 miles from the Lake Havasu area. But this is the start of Section 3 of the California BDR. This is the first time I've ever been to California, and I can see some gas is almost $8. No, gas is $8. I've never paid over $5 for gas, I don't think. But we're going to get some $8 gas for the first time in my life here. And maybe something to eat real quick before we head up. We're getting ready to enter the Mojave National Preserve. We're not going to go too far. The sun's going to be setting in about 30 minutes. How does this damn thing work? Is this California? Can I even get this thing to work? I gotta push that thing? Oh dear Lord. Welcome to California, where I can't even operate the gas pumps. Can't push the nozzle far enough into my tank to activate it. Having to cheat a little here. I've never ever put $20 worth of gas in this in my life. $4 and some cent gas station hot dog. That's gonna have to do for supper. We're gonna choke this down real quick and get just a little bit of a start on Section 3 here, this California BDR, and get ready to hit it good in the morning. Let me fill you in a little bit about what's going on in this video. So the plan is to ride sections 3, 4, and 5, taking us up to Death Valley National Park, where we're going to spend some time exploring, and then we're going to bring sections 2 and 1 and the Nevada BDR back to Oatman to make a loop out of it. It should be a good time. Be sure to stick around. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the video. Welcome to the Mojave National Preserve. As you can see, the sun, it's gone for the day. It's a little after 5 o'clock here, first part of February in 2025. We are just gonna run up in here, like I got a spot marked out. It's about 10 miles, 16 kilometers from where I'm at the moment, to set up camp for the night. And then we will fill you in on everything else that's going on, probably in the morning. Well, good morning. It's not too cold out, but it's also not real warm. We're here this morning near the start of Section 3 of the Southern California BDR. In fact, we're about 20 miles or 32 kilometers into it. Section 3 of the Southern California BDR is listed as 94 miles, 150 kilometers from Desert Oasis truck stop there at the interstate up to Primm. We're gonna see what we get done today. Of course, we may end up on Section 4 before the day's over. Who knows? It is a beautiful day out here. It's warmed up a little bit from my last riding in Texas. So far, this road up to where I camped and on up through here is pretty good. This obviously has the potential to be sandy, it looks like. Right now, I guess I lucked out. I don't know, there's like just enough moisture. I don't know if they had some recent rains or what, but just enough moisture that this is kind of packed in, and maybe that's kind of normal for it too. I don't know, but if it was super dry, I could see this being a little looser. Somewhere out here, there's something on Google Maps, a point of interest, a tourist attraction called the Penny Tree. I don't know what that is. I probably could have researched that a little more in advance if I cared that much, I guess, but I'm assuming it's some special Joshua tree, maybe. As with a lot of early American history, the railroads were just expanding wildly to the west, and in the west, right across from that little monument, there is a road here. I guess it's a road, not just a wash. I wonder if this goes back to the Petroglyphs. There's petroglyphs over here somewhere. Some of these roads don't go anywhere out here. They go back into camping areas and stuff. I've driven back in here a little ways. Is a little further than I would have cared to drive to go back here, I think. But it looks like it goes over here and hits another road. Rancho Avenue, it's called on my topo map, which should take us up there closer to those petroglyphs. We'll see if we can get there or not. Oh, there it is. Now this is not part of the BDR. Maybe that's a road on up there. Is that a road? Nah, there's a road up there. Looking for these petroglyphs. This is the road. It's on the map as the road. It's not the best road. It's not terrible because it could be a total sand pit, but it's not, so. Oh. Yeah, that was not good choice. So, those petroglyphs must be right here somewhere. That looks sandy as Why do I have water? There's definitely not water here. That's funny. There's a well according to that. Interesting. Oh, right up there on those rocks, I guess that's... Yeah, let's just park this bike up. So not too bad of a little drive over here. The petroglyphs are up on those rocks behind my bike there. I'm gonna go over there and take a little closer look at them. The petroglyphs are pretty cool, but we're gonna get back on the main route and work our way on up through here, through the Mojave Desert. Well, the road turns to a sand pit from here. Now the good news is we don't need to go on it. We just need to turn around and go back out to Rancho Road where we came in there, and then I think we can continue up Rancho Road, or it'll cut us back to the main route. Oh. A little squirrely there. Well, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure if you're meant to be here. There was a couple private property signs, and is this the road? I don't know. It shows a road there, and that goes up to that house, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. In the middle of that road, there's this private property, and the road kind of runs through it, I guess. I hope I'm allowed to be here, but it's a road on the map. Well, I mean, this presents a bit of an issue, doesn't it? When I came in from the other way, there wasn't a gate, so... Is this chained and locked? And of course there's a fence all along it. Oh dear Lord. Well, at least they didn't put any padlocks on it. Make it look official again. It won't be the way it was, but at least I didn't get shot at, right? So see, that's a road with a sign and everything, but we're back to the main route though, after apparently doing a little trespassing. Little did I know it, but couldn't tell that coming in from the other direction, could you? Looks like there's some sort of old ranch property back here. Maybe we can walk over and take a look at that. Be a good chance to get off the bike, take a little bit of a break, grab a snack. The Rock House is the legacy of a World War I veteran, Bert Smith, who moved here to the Mojave Desert in the 1920s. During his time in the service, he was exposed to poison gases, and they felt that moving out here to the desert might prolong his life. His prognosis wasn't that good, but he built this house in 1929 and continued to live here for another 25 years until 1954. The house was actually inhabited up until 1981 by an artist. Rock House is pretty cool. We need to carry on though. Got a lot of ground to cover yet today. Some camping up around there. Wouldn't be a bad spot to spend the night if the timing worked out for you. There's a bathroom there. Wasn't in too bad a shape. After a little diversion over there to the Rock House, where it looks like we're back on this main road, Cedar Canyon Road. Pretty nice road, especially in BDR terms. I think we're coming up to a paved road. I'm not really sure. We're crossing the BNSF tracks here. On Sema Road here. About to come up to the White Cross. That was actually our road there, but let's pull over here and look at the memorial. First erected in 1934, the White Cross Memorial, the Mojave Memorial, stands to remember those from World War I. Some cool campsites back in here. It's about 11:45 it looks like. I'm just eating some snacks and stuff for lunch. I consumed the 2.5 liters of water that was in my backpack. Luckily I have another better part of a gallon, not quite a gallon, with me, which I put most of in the backpack. So hopefully that gets us on up to civilization. In the meantime, we're just gonna cruise on up through here. Some of those washes are pretty severe. Don't want to hit them too hard. Bottom out the suspension and go for a hell of a ride. Now this should take us up towards that mine. So the road gets quite rocky, but it's worth it because I can see a pretty cool like hoist house or some sort of mining relic up here. We're here at the Evening Star Mine. Production occurred between 1939 and 1944. The primary ores here were tin and tungsten. Well, the mine was a pretty cool detour. Drove past some dead people, so I thought maybe I better come back and see what that was. Oh my gosh, that one's really recent, 2009. This isn't too bad. It just requires a little bit of concentration. Kind of slowed it down through here because there's a lot of blind corners, and this road's pretty much a one-lane road. Hell of an operation over there, like out in the middle of nowhere. It seems like it must be some sort of mining, I would think. I don't know if we get a little closer to that or drive by it, maybe. If not, we'll stop up here and take a look. This is like slightly steep here. I mean, it's not bad, and it's a good road. It's just pretty steep coming down out of there. There's some washes you want to watch for. All right, we got to get on Interstate 15 here for about 17 miles, 27 kilometers over to Primm. Now the 650 will do the interstate, but its operator doesn't like to do the interstate. We're almost to Primm. That's Nevada over there. We'll see if gas is any cheaper. This is the end of section 3 of the California Southern BDR. This also ties in with the Nevada BDR as well. I'm gonna go over here and grab some food from the McDonald's, which I guess is right there in that casino parking lot, so that's easy. And grab some gas, of course, and then start up section 4 of the Southern California BDR. Will I take a $5 value meal? Yes, I will. Let's see if they're $5 here, though. Looks like all the gas stations are the same price, so I might as well just pick whichever one's closest here. Premium is $5.27. That's not quite as bad as $8.20. Now that we've acquired fuel, we're gonna run over here a block or two to a grocery store of sorts or some market, whatever, something I can grab some more snacks to have. I have supper, which will be some sort of dehydrated meal. Acquired a few snacks from the grocery store, or as close as a grocery store as there is here in Primm.
I don't know if it's much better than the gas station options, but the gas station I went to didn't have a convenience store anyway, so there you go. We are going to start up section 4 of that California Southern BDR, see if we can go up there and find us a campsite. I mean, we still got quite a bit of time in the day. It's probably 2:30 by now, but we're going to get up there a ways and find a spot for the night.
All right, leaving Primm here on section 4 of the Southern California BDR. It's 76 miles, 122 kilometers up to Shoshone. Now, of course, we're not going that far. We're just going backtracking just a little bit on the interstate. Then we'll be jumping off, going by that solar farm. So this is interesting. I've never seen this before. Travel on shoulder is allowed 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I guess I could drive on the shoulder if I felt like I was impeding traffic, which I'm going 67 and it's getting a little wobbly on me. Pulling off I-15 there. Really, it's not too far on it, so that's good. Like, I have to wonder, does that thing even function? There's all kinds of them, like pointed the wrong way or missing, or as we leave the pavement behind us there, initial impressions are it's a little rougher than what we were on in section 3, a little rockier. Starting to work up an elevation here. Pretty sustained climb. It's not terrible. I mean, it's not that steep, and it's a little rough, but it's not that bad. And it's not like it's just a total, like, bunch of loose stuff or, God forbid, baby heads or anything like that. Woo! It does start to take its toll on you. I don't know, but I'm going to stop and take a little bit of a breather. That definitely got the engine warmed up and me warmed up. Not overheated or anything, but fans on, that's for sure. Ow. So it kind of feels like we're losing that elevation we gained coming up the other side there, but this is a lot more gradual. It's not steep. Oh, it looks like we got some deep stuff up here, but the good thing is it's not really sand. It's like this gravel, and it's pretty packed in the ruts. Came off the Yatesville Road there on this aptly named Powerline Road. I was hoping it would be better, but we're out of the Mojave Preserve again, so I wonder if this has had side-by-sides on it, because it's not washboards, I don't know what you call it, where it's just buck. It's all just chewed up, like it's just rougher than hell. I don't know if you can see the gradient in the gravel. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This road sucks. It's just beating the shit out of me. I've just slowed down to a crawl because I'm tired of it. I don't think there's a point where I could go fast enough that this would smooth out, because it's not washboards. For one thing, there's a fair amount of embedded rock, but it's also all just wah kind of thing, which I'm sure you're not seeing that in my helmet because the camera's stabilizing it, but the road's just chewed. Oh wow, a paved road, and that's the route, at least for a little ways. I actually never thought I'd be so glad to see a paved road. God, that road is brutal. It's not even fun, man. Oh, that hill climb coming out of Primm, you know, that was, you know, not tough, but a little technical and kind of fun. I mean, a good little challenge and everything, you know, that you can enjoy. Got me warmed up and everything, but that road there just plain sucks. Well, that didn't last long, and we're on some dilapidated chip seal now. I mean, it's not bad. At least it's relatively smooth. I'm not sure what this road is, why it said trucks use a certain channel, so I don't know if there's a mining operation up here or what. I'm pretty surprised, somewhat pleasantly at this point, I guess, to see this chip seal has continued for a lot further than I expected it might. It's actually in pretty good shape. We're buzzing right along on it. So we're gonna go up here. It's almost 4. I mean, we still got some time in the day, but the sun sets early this time of year. It's first part of February. It's winter here in Eastern California, Pacific time. I know where there's some camping areas up through here, and imagine you can make yourself at home about anywhere. You do have to be careful where you camp once you get up into Death Valley National Park, because there's some restrictions up in there. Alright, we're making pretty good time here. The road has stayed pretty decent, really. It's 4:15, roughly 16:16. I am going to peel off here, though, and camp for the night, because there is a designated camping area here with a toilet. That's always nice. Looks like there is a spot still open. That is perfect. Sun's gonna be going away in an hour, and there's no sense in setting up in the dark. We've made it 46 miles or 74 kilometers of the approximately 76 miles or 100 kilometers of the main route of section 4 here to this camping area where we're going to spend the night. Now tomorrow we're going to head out and continue section 4, of course, taking us on up to Shoshone. Now the alt-harder route through Mesquite Valley starts from like right here basically. I don't know whether we're going to take that. Thinking about maybe at least trying it, going out on a little ways and seeing what it's like. I didn't really research it that much, to be honest, so it could be interesting. We'll probably try to check that out, and if it's too tough, then we'll book it on up the main route, and that's fine. We're going to have some spaghetti with meat sauce here, replenish our calories. There is 440 in this package. I'm sure I can use all of those, even though we did just have a double quarter pounder like 4 hours ago. But we need everything we can get, so we're going to eat some supper, and then sun's going away pretty quick. The day is going to be wrapping up. So thanks for joining me so far. Be sure to stick around as we continue this BDR. Good morning, everyone, from windy Southern California. It's not too cold out. That's the good news. Apparently I stick my tent down well because it's still here with me in it. Sun is not quite up yet, but it will be coming up shortly. Getting ready to finish up section 4 there's like 30 miles or 50 kilometers left, something like that, on up to Shoshone. And then from there we'd be picking up Section 5, which takes us up into Death Valley. Now, not too far from here is the Alt Harder section, which itself is like 16 miles or 25 kilometers roughly. Now, that's not additional. It is a little bit different, of course, mileage than the main route, but debating on that one still. I mean, I'm leaning towards going and trying it. It's called Alt Harder, which doesn't mean it's an expert route, right? Unless they change their naming scheme. I don't know. Dive right into that this morning after we have some tea, which is try and fight the wind over there, and have some breakfast, get this camp packed up. Headed back out on Section 4 here, leaving the camp. Got about 30 miles or 50 kilometers left of this to take us up to Shoshone. From there it'll be Section 5, which takes you up into Death Valley and ends in Beatty, Nevada. Don't know how much we'll do today. We never know. Just see how we get along. Talk to those gentlemen over there at that other site. This road continues kind of like this up to the mine. They didn't know much about Mesquite Valley or anything beyond the mine, I don't think. So that's alright. We're going to go up here and check it out. See what it's like. See how we get on today. California Desert Conservation Area, whatever that is. As you can probably tell, I missed my turn up to Mesquite Valley and not realized it yet. And then this turn here I do is me turning for a detour sign, which ends up being pointless, but I also don't know that yet. That's all right. We're going to continue on up here to the mine and then realize we've missed our turn and enjoy the pretty view along the way and get back on track momentarily. Coming over through there towards Excelsior Mine. It's a pretty drive. Yeah, definitely an active gravel mining. I'm not really sure, but gotta figure out where we're going here. I think we go that way. I don't know. Pretty sure we go that way. Sign says Tecopa that way, which means not in there, but through here. Okay. A little confusing there with all of the mine roads. Oh. Alright, so I'm just realizing that I missed the turn for Mesquite Valley Alt Hard section. Like 3 miles back, I went way past it. I mean, it's not a bad road to get back to it if I want to try it, but geez. I should have had it marked. I mean, I just had the main route loaded. I guess the good news is we got to see the mine, which we would have missed if we would have just went on the Alt Hard route there. But now we're gonna backtrack. Well, a little bit of an unnecessary detour there, I guess. That's alright. It's really pretty up through there, actually, so I'm kind of glad that I missed my turn. And an easy road to buzz back on. I mean, it was kind of like this most of the way. Now it did deteriorate to gravel a little bit up there. Now it says my turn is in 500 feet, but where's that going to be? Through this gate? Really? Through the gate. Mesquite Valley Trail, yep, there's even a sign for it. No wonder I drove past it. I mean, it's not uncommon to have to open gates, but it didn't occur to me that this would be it. on. Hello. Let's not go down the hill. Alright, so this route is 16 miles of this alt harder section. So it'll be interesting to see what we're getting into. Is it going to be sand? Is it going to be rocks? Is it going to be steep climbs? All the above? Who knows? It's another gate. Gate number 2, and we're off. I mean, so far, this isn't bad. I'm sure it gets worse, but oh, not the best one there either. Oh, that's gonna be rough. That one was a little sketch. Didn't see that soon enough. Up to this point anyway, I would describe it as a pretty fun road. It's definitely engaging, something that you got to be on your toes, both literally and figuratively in some cases. A little rocky right through there. Sometimes one track's better than the other. You just kind of gotta keep an eye on it, wobble back and forth as needed, and watch out for some washes and big rocks and things like that. Hi there. So, of course I wasn't recording this, but I came off of that, which was obviously solid, and into this wash, which I should have anticipated maybe being a little not great. But yeah, come down in here. I don't know if I probably would have been better off had I gotten over there. That looks a little more solid, as you can see. But yeah, just kind of washed out the front wheel there. No big deal, just fell over. One of those non-dramatic things. So we'll set this back up, try to get over there, and carry on. So as you might have guessed, this is a little soft and deep, but it looks like we're going to get right back out of it. Just about bit it there, didn't we? Oh, come on, Derek. You gotta stay on the pegs. You know that. That's very deep. In fact, the bike's struggling a little. Oh, come on. Of course, you want to stay in the throttle, because when you let out of the throttle, the front wheel dives, and that doesn't help anything. Alright, so this is firm right here. It's time to take a breather before we continue on, I think. I don't know whether I really deserve a snack, but I need a snack. Oof. What do we got in here? I bought a few things yesterday. I bought Nutter Butters. These gotta be healthy. Lots of added sugar, I'm sure. I tell you, probably what I need is some Gatorade. My diet hasn't been the healthiest lately. Oh hey, this is cool. They package them in a plastic tray so they don't get smashed. Getting out of that wash there, it got a little better there from where I stopped to take that break. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I think we're about halfway around this harder section, roughly. Eventually, it'll of course dump us out back at the main route. I think it's over there kind of near Tecopa Hot Springs or Tecopa Springs or whatever it is. There is a natural hot springs there, or warm springs, I really probably should call it. Well, it's a little rocky there. There's some commercial establishments there, but there's also like a free pool, I guess. This one looks dicey. I'm gonna try to stay over. Oh yeah, dicey for sure. Wasn't able to stay on the pegs. Oh. Okay, well, hey, that might have not been the best, but I didn't have to pick the bike up. It's always a win. We're kind of in and out of several soft washes. Now that thing we just went through was the sandiest that we've been in. A lot of it's just kind of it is kind of sand, but yet it's not like that fine sand. I don't know what this is. I just about went flying past it. I'm not sure if it's anything historically important, but it looks like a good chance for a break. Well, that's kind of interesting. They had utilities out here at one time of some sorts. There's a power plug. Here's a hot tip. Never open an old abandoned fridge. You might either find rotten food or a body. Climbed up out of there pretty quick from where those houses were. I'm not sure what that sign says. Road closed. Well, it's clearly not closed. We just came off of it, and there was no such sign on the other end. Now we're turning on to whatever this is. It's like, I don't know. I think it's Mesquite Road. I think a road just been redirected since this map was drawn, probably. Just about to rejoin the main route here, coming off of the Alt Harder section. I would say that wasn't too bad. I mean, I think Alt Harder is a fair descriptor for it. Certainly had some challenges. I think the biggest thing is the sandy sections, the wash. I mean, a lot of it isn't even that sandy. Not like, at least not like super fine sand. But yeah, it was fun. I'm definitely glad that I went ahead and took the chance on it and checked it out. So this is the main route here coming in from the left. Smith Talc Road, it looks like. Clearly a more heavily traveled road. You can just already tell from the tracks, and that it's clearly packed, which could be all right, or it could be rough. Who knows? Well, we need to do a little map planning here so we don't miss the next turn. We are back on the main section here now. The question is, do we want to do the extension to China Date Ranch? Now that is not very far at all. I mean, not very far up there. I don't think. Where are we at? How far? I guess it's 4 miles one way, 8 miles, but it's surely a pretty good road because I think it's a pretty popular place. So, but who knows? Nope, it's definitely not behind us. So we got a ways to go on this shit before we worry about getting to China Date Ranch. Let's go ahead and just reload the main track here. Perfect. The old pavement's kind of on and off, but can't be too bad of a road if somebody drug that airstream back in here. And I'm not sure what this all is. Tecopa Mines Private Tours Access something. Well, I mean, what am I gonna do, calm? Plan a tour? I don't think you're calling anybody out here. I am going to take the little extension up to the China Date Ranch. It's not too far up there, and I'm not really on a schedule. This time I did set my GPS at least, so I don't fly past it. Well, the one time I set my GPS to tell me where to go, I probably didn't need to, because I think there's a giant sign for it, and the road turns to asphalt. So hey, we're absolutely going to cruise back there. So those are date plants, and of course it isn't called the China Ranch Date Farm for no reason. It was started by a Chinese man. It's pretty cool. I don't really know much about dates, except they used to serve them to us in grade school as a government commodity. Weirdest thing ever, right? They would just serve us like dates as a side item. They're open, so that's always good. Try our date shakes. That's the big thing.
So, what's a date shake?
Just as it says, so it's classic ice cream dates and a little vanilla extract.
Okay. You gotta have one, right?
I would say.
I don't think we can count this as lunch, but it's gonna be a reasonable substitute until we can get some.
China Date Ranch was pretty cool. The date shake was pretty good. I mean, it was a milkshake. I'm not sure how much different it was from most milkshakes, but it was a nice little snack to tide me over till we get somewhere to eat. Now, we're not too far from Tecopa or Shoshone, either one, probably 20-30 minutes, give or take. And once we get back up to the main route there off this extension, it is paved on in there, so it should be pretty quick and easy going. We will have to go up to Shoshone for gas. There's some food in Tecopa and also the hot springs. After that will be the start of section 5, which technically takes us from Shoshone up to Beatty through Death Valley National Park. Now, if you just stay on the pavement, it'll take you to Tecopa. This just kind of cuts off a curve in the road, basically. This does cut by that warm water, hot water springs that I was thinking about going to. I think we better run up here and scope this out. Hey, look at that. Nobody even in them. It is about the size of a bathtub. That's pretty warm. Oh, very slick. Pretty refreshing though. Well, the hot springs are pretty nice, I will say. Got my, let's call it, shower in for probably the foreseeable future there. We're gonna run over here and see about maybe grabbing something to eat. I don't think there's a lot of choices in Tecopa or Shoshone, either one. And I don't really want a gas station hot dog, if that is a choice. I'd rather have like a meal, a normal meal. Haven't had one of those in a while. This is a short backtrack basically on the pavement here into town. But this looks pretty interesting. Steaks and beer is there. Is it even open? I don't know. Doesn't really look too open now, does it? I guess this establishment's not open, is it?
Not till dinner time.
Okay, is there any restaurants in town that are, or up at Shoshone?
The only restaurant here in Tecopa is Kit Fox Cafe.
Okay.
But it's, oh, they're open. They're open till 7. They have pizzas and goods and things like that.
Cool.
And this place opens at 5.
Alright, I'm just passing through, so I thought I'd grab some lunch somewhere. I gotta either eat here or Shoshone, so.
Yeah, Shoshone's got the Crowbar Cafe.
What would you recommend?
I'd recommend the Kit Fox because they have kind of better ingredients.
Yeah.
For fresh type food, but you know.
I would like to have some real food.
It's more like cafe food.
Okay.
Kit Fox is a little better.
Cool. Alright, thank you. I guess that answers that. We can either eat at the Kit Fox Cafe, or we can go on up to Shoshone. So I guess we're backtracking a little further to the Kit Fox Cafe, which is just down here at the intersection of this and the old Spanish Trail Highway. The sandwich was pretty good. Actually, it was really good. It's just not a place to go if you're in a hurry, which is alright, because I wasn't in a hurry. I mean, I do tend to rush things sometimes when I don't need to, but I'm going to cruise back up here through Tecopa again, and then head up to Shoshone, get some gas, and then we'll be starting section 5. I think it's probably a good thing I ate down there in Tecopa, because the only thing here is this Crowbar Cafe, which I'm sure it's fine, but alright, let's get some gas. How much is it here? You know, it's funny, there's not that big of a spread between regular and premium out here. Normally it's more than that. That's goodbye to Shoshone. On to section 5 here. That'll take us 141 miles or 225 kilometers up to Beatty, Nevada. Of course, going through Death Valley National Park as we work our way up there. It's a bit of a haul over here on Highway 127. I don't even know if you can hear me. The headwind is so bad today going this direction. It's so loud in my helmet. We just went over Ibex Pass there. Completed a little repositioning move there from Shoshone over here. We had to backpedal just a little bit so we could get a picture with the sign, because it's not a great sign, like it's not a big sign, but to enter Death Valley this way is probably not the way most people do it. So now let's see if we can get back to going in this stuff. It's quite loose. I'm not sure if that mountain range over there has a name. I'm sure it does, but I don't know what it is. It's very pretty. It's the light's hitting it just right now, I guess. Oh. I mean, normally I like try to find the firmest spot, but this is like all equally unfirm. Deep sand, 1.5 miles ahead. We've been warned. Well, I guess this is the sand. Yeah. We're off to a great start. We're off to a great start. This is that super fine sand that's tough to ride in, especially when you hit a rock that's buried and it throws you. Oh, I'm full of excuses, aren't I? Let's just see if we can the back wheel is digging in, man. Oh. I can't be good on things. This looks like Is that the clutch slipping or what? I think the clutch is slipping, to be honest. Oh man, I better stop and assess. I'm gonna walk it through the rest of this portion here, and we're gonna see what happens. All right, it's not great, but I think it's better. This is better. I hope it's not like that sand a bunch. I mean, it's Death Valley. It very well could be, right? I don't know, but if it is, it's gonna be a long haul. Well, if I'm being honest, having to fight with all that sand and fight a lot so early on into the Death Valley portion has me a little worried. Like, I hope I didn't bite off more than I can chew here. I mean, there's been a little, you know, there's patches of sand and stuff here and there throughout this. If it's not like that bad again, we'll be all right. But I just really struggle with the sand, and I guess I don't know how I get better without struggling, but jumped over on this Saratoga Springs Road here, a much better road. We merged onto it. I don't know anything about the road, but it continues on south, generally speaking. I think you can come in that way. Now, of course, it's not the BDR route, and I have no idea if it's any better. I mean, but maybe you could research it. If you don't think you can do the sand, you could check into that road and see if it's okay or what the deal is with it. I don't know. I mean, I made it through the sand. It was a little bit of a battle. Sand is definitely probably my weakest point, and here we go again. We're gonna just try to get some speed, keep some speed, so we don't nosedive the front tire into it. And see, that wasn't bad, but again, that wasn't very far through that. If I could just keep that kind of speed, but I'm pretty hesitant to run into deep sand at like 30 miles an hour, because if I'm gonna get thrown off, I'd rather do it at a slower speed. I'm not sure a lot of people have a real appreciation for just how remote, desolate, and isolated this is out here. I mean, it's no joke. I mean, if something were to go wrong, it just a long ways, you know, and I'm here by myself, which is the way I prefer to do things, but it also kind of escalates that risk, you know, kind of changes your tolerance and assessment a little bit, I think. Is this van coming over through here? They better not. That son of a van will be buried. You going that way?
About it, but
let me tell you what.
Yeah, let me hear it. We just like, oh, looks like some sand out there.
There's sand blowing across the road. Now, I flew on through it,
yeah.
But you can imagine this weighs a little less.
Yeah, totally.
But you got 4 wheels and I only got 2.
Yeah.
But is it just front wheel drive or?
It's just pretty low clearance. So.
I feel like you're gonna bury that thing.
Okay, thank you.
And then even across the road there's spots where it's that deep.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
And I mean, it's kind of hard. Like, I had enough momentum and speed that you know, went. I mean, I've picked this thing up twice already, not right here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But in that other area, which was worse. But, you know, it's your vehicle, or it's a rental, isn't it? So you might not have you might have an idea of what it can or can't do, but
that's for sure.
yeah, and I don't think AAA comes out here either, so
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you have to use your own judgment. My advice would be it's a bad idea.
Okay, we're gonna,
unless you got a shovel and sand mats.
Yeah, we're gonna take your advice. I think we're gonna turn around.
I mean, you've seen me coming through it, and honestly, I was giving it a little bit of hell, because if you don't, you'll just dump it. You'll just
yeah.
But all right, guys, well, have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was an interesting section there. We also just left Death Valley National Park, and we're turning on to, I guess, still Saratoga Springs Road. It's 3:35 here. I hate to think about the end of the day already, because it's just like the middle of the afternoon, but a couple more hours and it will be dark. So a couple more hours out here could be 30 miles, or it could be 10 miles. You just never know. You know, if the road carries on like this, will be great. We'll make some progress. We'll see. Alright, so we stay to the right here, which I guess the good news is it just says rough road and not deep sand. I think that also said dead ends. But so far this road, while not the most interesting road, because it's pretty much a straight shot out across here, has been pretty good. Just cruising right along here still, making decent progress. We did have another turn signal failure. the other one, I'll have to JB weld that when I get to camp tonight, and it's not because I dropped it on it. It just I guess the vibrations got to it. I blame that Powerline Road for it. This is a little washboardy right here, a little squirrely. I know you have no idea where we're at relative to anything out here, but I think we're like not too far from a camping area that I had marked. So 10 miles as the crow flies. Oh God, I said it don't look too bad, like the road's just blowing in a little. Looks like it's blowing in pretty bad up here. Oh my God, look at that. Holy sh**. I better grab another gear. And focus. It's not too bad on this side if I can stay over here. I'm just glad it's not that fine sand, not that red sand. My God, that'd be awful. This is deep, very deep. If you bury it in that, you're going to be oh, that is deep. My God, I can't believe this is even the route. Oh man, that looks bad there. I would like to stop and set up some great shot for you guys, but there's no way in hell I'm stopping. It don't look like it gets much better. Oh my. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't pretty sketchy. I mean, the scenery though. Look at the scenery. It's worth it, right? I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder about my clutch a little. That scares me too, because it's so far out here. I know when I get back from this trip, I'll be doing some inspection. We're not too far from this camping spot I had marked. I see it on my map there, which I'm very relieved to see that, because It's 4:30. Sun's gonna fall behind those mountains pretty quick. I mean, if you were to look at the sunset time, it would say 5:15 or so. Okay, so like I'm not really sure where this camp spot's supposed to be, because it was right there supposedly. Was it really a camp spot? Because you're not allowed to drive off the road either. Let's go a little bit further here, see if I see anything viable. Okay, so I've determined that spot does not exist. It's, as you can see, there's been a lot of erosion out here. Now, I did drive past several places where the grader had kind of cleared this out. This is probably not ideal, but I'm running out of options here. So I got one of these spots here where the grader kind of pushed the berm away. And this is so rocky, who wants to sleep on that? But there's a little spot right over here that's like a sandy, flattish stuff. So we're going to be setting the tent up over there, I guess. But this is probably as close as I can get the bike, because it can't be off the road. I think you guys have seen me set my tent up enough times, so we're just going to skip that whole charade. I'm going to get set up before it gets dark. The sun just fell over the mountain there, and we'll talk to you in a bit, okay? Can you believe it, guys? I brought an unnecessary luxury item with me on this trip. I had to leave the drone behind. I didn't want to, but I chose to, because there's just like very few, almost no places you can fly it. Between Mojave National Preserve, which is a national park operation, and Death Valley, of course, National Park. And then a lot of places, everything but the road is wilderness, and you can't fly in the wilderness. And then we're gonna loop back on the Nevada side, and there's just so much restricted military airspace over there. It's like, not even gonna bother bringing it. I would love to shoot some footage. Unfortunately, this trip isn't gonna have any, but we do have this chair. Fits in my pannier. First night I broke it out, actually. Last night I had the picnic table, and the night before it was just dark, and what was I gonna do? It was cold. Tonight it's actually very nice out. As you can see, I'm in a t-shirt. We made good progress today on section 5, of course completed section 4. I'm not really sure how many miles we've been. I'll try to break that out of the Garmin when I get back to the computer, and I'll put those numbers on the screen for you. But we're gonna, of course, finish up section 5 tomorrow. Now, section 6 continues through Death Valley and goes through Titus Canyon, which is unfortunately closed due to the road being gone. But from there, we'll be jumping over into Nevada. This section technically ends in Beatty, and Nevada section 2 starts in Beatty, goes down to Pahrump, and then from there it goes down, section 1 goes down to Oatman. So we're gonna do that. Today, oh man, some of that sand. First of all, that deep, loose sand right off the bat in section 4 here, section 5, excuse me. That deep sand right off the bat in section 5, I thought was gonna do me in. If there would have been a bunch of that, it would have done me in. I'm not very good in that stuff. I'll be the first to admit that, and you can see that. It's tough. And then that last bit of sand that we came through there most recently, my God, I was questioning that, but I was just going for it, full throttle, f it. And we've made it this far, and hopefully it's not too much crazier from here. I don't know. What have I gotten myself into? But anyway, it's been a good time so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been pretty exciting, pretty interesting, really. Yeah, I know I've enjoyed the riding for the most part, with, you know, a few exceptions. I guess we're gonna have some chili mac with beef. It's been sitting here brewing for a while. This is probably my favorite dehydrated meal option, really. It tastes pretty good. It doesn't have kind of a weird flavor, weird taste like some stuff does, and I'm sure the spices in it probably overpower that. But anyway, it's been a good day. I hope you'll continue to join me for whatever tomorrow brings. We'll see you then. Well, good morning. It's another beautiful day out here as we resume Section 5 of the Southern California BDR. Looks like we're about 58 miles into this 140-mile route up to Beatty from Shoshone there. Leaves us with about 88 miles or 140 kilometers if we go clear up to Beatty on the main route. That doesn't include any extensions like Artist Palette. Just a little over a mile there from where I camped. We come into an intersection here. Shoshone is 26 miles if you wanted to bring the easy way in here. Then Furnace Creek is another 44, and this is asphalt here. So the pace will probably pick up for a while. I don't know how long we follow this, but of course it'll be a pretty easy cruise. Not too far up here, we come to the Ashford Mill Historic Ruins. Run over here and check this out. In 1907, the Ashford brothers acquired the Golden Treasure Mine, which was located 5 miles east of here in Ashford Canyon. Built this mill here in 1914 and also abandoned it the same year. Mine never proved to be profitable. West Side Road. Now there's a bypass listed for this, which I'm guessing is this road itself. So I don't know if it's just listed as a in case this is closed or what. The road is open though. Let's see. The West Side Road is gravel. There are no services. It's 40-mile length, historic sites. Okay, so I mean there's no indication that it's terrible or anything. It says it's gravel. It doesn't say it's a sand pit, so let's go for it. Of course, you never know out here. Oh, road closed 34 miles ahead. Maybe that's why there's a bypass. Oh, damn. You would think they would have put that a little further up towards the entrance, huh? So when I checked the Park Service website, because I did do a little bit of planning, it didn't mention this being closed. So do you want to drive 34 miles up here to find out it's closed and have to backtrack? Oh, God. I drove a little ways up this West Side Road and I'm at an intersection here, which we go on straight towards Furnace Creek. It's 41 miles away. And I don't have any phone service, of course, to check the road status or to call anybody. So, you know, with the sign saying the road's closed in 31 miles from the pavement back there, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have to trust the sign, even though the website didn't show it being closed, because I specifically did check that. So it'd be nice if I could call the visitor center or something and ask, but I can't. So I hate to drive essentially 60 miles for nothing. You know, that could be wasting, you know, 3 hours more or less, depending on what the road is. But I mean, even if it continues like this, it's probably going to waste 3 hours if I go up there and have to turn around. So yeah, we're just gonna peel back around here and go back to the pavement. If it was like 5 or 10 miles, I'd risk it. You know, I got the gas, you know, even if I went up there and had to turn around. But if I'm concerned about anything, it's probably my water. I got 2.5, a little less than 2.5 liters. I was hoping I could get phone service and call and check, but unfortunately I'm not able to verify the situation with that road. That's alright. This road is very scenic anyway. This is obviously going to speed things up. And maybe it'll give me a little more time, or feel like I have more time to just kind of explore more of Death Valley in general.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right.
I was driving along and I saw all this, I think that's salt out there, right? And I forgot, or I realized that I bet we're below sea level now. So I got to looking at my Garmin, and sure enough, we are currently at minus 370 feet elevation, which I think is like 112 meters below sea level. I did see a few pockets of water out in that as I was driving along. I don't see any right here, but it's quite an interesting landscape. Now there are, of course, several hiking trails here in Death Valley. I do enjoy some hiking, but I did not pack hiking boots. And that wasn't the purpose of this trip anyway. And we're not about to go hiking in Tech 7s, so we'll have to enjoy the scenery from the road as it is. Coming up to a hiking trail here that goes out onto the salt flat. Pull in here and check this out. Badwater Basin there is 282 feet or 85.5 meters below sea level. I think that's the lowest point in the park, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty cool area there. I don't think we're too far from Furnace Creek Visitor Center, maybe like 10, 15 miles, 15, 20 kilometers, I don't know. Somewhere in that range. Shouldn't take too long to buzz on up through there on this pavement. Coming up to Artist Drive here, there is one way from south to north, so we'll be doing this before we go up to Furnace Creek Visitor Center. It is listed as about 11 miles, which that would be, what, 17, 18 kilometers? I don't know. Something like that. So it looks like it's going to be just a little bit of a hike up there to the viewpoint, which is no problem. Shed the coat, go for a little walk in the Tech 7s, no big deal. The salt flats where we just came from down there. A little bit of a hike, but I'd say it's worth it. like we did wasn't artist palette. It's on that road, but this is the official artist palette thing up here. I think it's just a little overlook area. It's this kind of multicolored rock formation, as you can probably imagine. That's where it gets its name from. Well, I walked over into that just a little ways just to get a few better pictures and better vantage point. It's a pretty neat area. We'll be headed out of here, continuing the one-way loop, of course. Next stop will be the Furnace Creek Visitor Center, I believe. Here we are at sea level, a place I never thought I'd be, unless I was at the ocean, I guess. Coming into Furnace Creek here, elevation minus 190 feet. I'm gonna go into the visitor center for one thing, to get some information, get some water for sure. Just leaving the visitor center. I did find out that the West Road is open. That sign down there, they just never have gotten taken down apparently, so I could have came up it, but that's all right. This actually worked out really well because I got to see those couple areas that I wouldn't have saw had I not come that way. Timing's worked out pretty good. It's just about noon here, so we're gonna run like next door and grab some lunch. Make some plans from there. Titus Canyon is closed, I did confirm that. Well, we're gonna try the Wild Rose Tavern here. I bet it's overpriced. I don't think that was really quite what I was looking for there, so we're gonna go try another option here. See if there's anything down there. I mean, I could have got something to eat there, don't get me wrong, but it did look like it was maybe a little more than I wanted to get into. It's an option though. I'm thinking there might be some food options here. It's a little cafe of some sort, so that's employee dining. I'm not an employee. It's a little challenging to figure things out here, what's what. It's not very well mapped, and it's kind of just sprawled about, but I think maybe the third time's a charm. Well, I killed way too much time in there, but that's alright. Had me some chicken tenders for also probably too much, and some ice cream. That was nice, but no, it's probably 2 o'clock. Yep, basically 2 o'clock. I'm gonna run down here and get some gas. I could probably make it to Beatty, but is that really a chance you want to take? I don't think so. Not for a few dollars. All right, we got some gas there. Gonna carry on with section 5 here, eventually taking us into Beatty, Nevada. We're gonna do the all harder section of Chloride Cliffs over that way as well, but we are gonna swing over here and check out this Borax Works thing. It's like a historical thing. Old Harmony Borax Works. On the marsh at this point, borax was discovered in 1881. So borax is mined here from 1882 to 1889. It was transported at 165 miles by 20 mule team to the railroad. That's where that brand name comes from, the 20 Mule Team Borax. I think it's probably about the only borax left on the market. Uneventful buzz up Highway 190 there. Turning up towards Beatty. Should be interesting. It is 2:40 in the afternoon, just for reference. One of the waypoints I had marked down, I don't know that it's part of the BDR, is this Keane Wonder Mine. And it's a few miles back here. Looks like it's about 2.5 miles back here. Now, I have no idea what this road's like. Looks like it's been recently graded, for whatever that's worth. That's pretty cool though. There's an old ore tram that runs up over the mountain there, down to, I guess, as a mill probably, of some sorts. We're gonna have to walk if we want to see this. It's a hell of a walk up here, but it's going to be worth it. The Keane Wonder Mine was discovered in 1904. What we see here are the remains of a 20 stamp processing mill and the 1 mile long aerial tramway that brought ore over. Between 1904 and 1917, the mine produced over $1 million worth of gold ore. Well, I think that was worth it. Don't ask me why I didn't take this jacket off. I'm a glutton for punishment. The day is getting away from me a little bit though. It's just a little after 3 o'clock. Now I was going to take, and I still do plan to take, the alt harder section of Chloride Cliffs over to Beatty. Coming up to the turn here for the Chloride Cliffs alt harder section. I think it's about the same distance if you stay on Daylight Pass, but obviously Daylight Pass is a paved highway, and this isn't. 4x4 high clearance, the sign said. Now we're up to 3,000 feet elevation. We were basically at sea level. Let me tell you, the temperature difference is remarkable. It is like cool up here, which probably means if I end up camping here overnight, it'll be cold. But we'll see. I mean, I was hoping to make it into Beatty, which if I do, I don't know what the elevation of Beatty is either, but I don't know where I'll camp in Beatty. So either I gotta camp before I drop into Beatty, or maybe get a hotel, which I'm not entirely opposed to. Well guys, so far it's going alright. I'm not going to set a record pace on this, but it's pretty consistent. A lot of it's been kind of like this, just 2-track. It's got a lot of loose stuff in between the tracks, on the edges of the tracks. Steep little drop back into there. So the last bit of this road has just been a straight shot. You can see the highway over there for quite a ways. It's further than it looked, but we're getting over there. These mountains over there, I thought they were something special from a distance, but now that we're getting a lot closer, the striations in them is just something else. Oh god damn, the sand's back. Yeah, that's not the first time that's caught me off guard. I came flying down through there, and you might see it in the time lapse that I was shooting. I hit a couple of those. The first one too fast, but maybe that helped me get through it. A little squirrely, but I got through it. All right, on US Highway 95 here, it's going to be about 8 miles into Beatty, Nevada. We are in Nevada, I guess now at this point. Surely we crossed over somewhere. There wasn't a welcome to Nevada sign on Chloride Road. We're going to go into Beatty, kind of reassess things. I mean, part of me is thinking just find a hotel and find supper, maybe, for tonight. I kind of need to sit down and like do some actual work, which all I have is my phone, but I need to sit down and get something constructive done that generates revenue, because this really doesn't, unfortunately. Coming into Beatty here, elevation 3,300 feet, and the speed limit is 25, so we don't want to end up in justice court, so we better slow down. I didn't think there was too much here, but it's a decent sized little town. Big old high school and rodeo grounds, it looks like. And we're herding mules in Beatty. Well, there's a few hotels. That's the Atomic Inn. Sort of looks like a dump. The Motel 6 didn't have the greatest reviews, and it's more than a few of the other options. And the last one I stayed at was just okay. What we're gonna do here though is take a left and go check out one option. The El Portal here. It looks like a traditional roadside hotel. I like that I can park right out front. Let's see what they got.
Okay, 77 plus tax.
All right, that's fine. We're at the El Portal Motel in Beatty, Nevada. This could be interesting. We're in room 3. Well, the room looks all right. It's nothing special. This bedspread's probably been here since the hotel was built. Some sort of like random mismatch furniture. Some nostalgia appliances. Nostalgia, all right. Bathroom don't look too bad.
Well, the sun's going away. I'm gonna go see about getting something to eat. Those barbecue in town looks pretty decent, but I'm also thinking maybe I could just go to Family Dollar, see if they got some frozen something I can microwave in my hotel room, save some money. I spent what, $12–15 on 3 chicken strips earlier today, $17 on a sandwich yesterday. I never shopped at Family Dollar. Actually, don't even know what it is now.
I don't really need 2 pizzas. These are very cheap, $1.50. Oh my goodness. That's some cheap calories. I'd rather have something a little better.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like to get gas. Do you mind? The burros are trash pandas. My God. Look at them. Look at them. In case you're wondering, gas is a lot cheaper in Beatty, Nevada. But you gotta pay the burro tax. Well, the burros are raiding the trash at the Arco. I don't know where they went. But There it goes down the street. Now the barbecue place there smells pretty darn good, but we have the economy frozen pizza option. Actually, it's not even the economy one, it's the premium frozen pizza option. Yes. Room 3. So I didn't need 2 pizzas, but I got 2 pizzas because that's what comes in a box. And it was either that or those other cheap looking, not very good pizzas, along with a few other things. I mean, the pizzas were like $5 or something. So we're gonna sit down, nuke those pizzas, both of them, because what am I gonna do with the other one, right? They're probably not all that big when it comes down to it. I think it's 800 calories for the whole box. I think 2 of those constitutes a meal. Says like about 3 minutes. Don't microwave them both at once. This guy on Pawn Stars wants $3 million for this film camera because it has something to do with Elvis. I don't think he's gonna get it. So really, I don't eat microwave pizza. Like, probably haven't eaten microwave pizza since I was a kid, actually. And I'd say it's okay. I mean, for the price, it's fine. Options here in Beatty are pretty limited. Family Dollar is the only grocery store, and there's just a handful of restaurants. Finished up section 5 of the Southern California BDR today, bringing us here into Beatty, Nevada. Not exactly sure how far we did go today. Started part the way up at this morning in Death Valley where we camped last night. It is a pretty long section, so we did cover quite a bit of miles today, despite the fact that we did a little tourism activities in Death Valley. We did speed it up though, because we didn't ride West Road. Supposedly it was open or closed. We weren't sure. The website had said it was open and I had checked it, but there was a sign on the south end saying it was closed. And I'm not sure that we really missed much on West Road. I don't really know that because I haven't driven it. But I think the scenery would have been equally good either route. I'm not sure if there's really many sites on West Road. You can let me know in the comments. Maybe I should have went back and rode it. It's been a good time, and I hope you guys will stick around to see what tomorrow brings and also see what the Nevada side of the BDR brings. It kind of just parallels the California BDR in some ways on this side of the border. It could be totally different terrain. I have no idea. I did less research on that than I did the California BDR, to be honest. So hopefully it's not a sand pit because we know how much those suck. So thanks for joining me. Be sure to smash that thumbs up if you're liking the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss whatever happens to come next. Stick around. We'll see you then. Well, good morning, everyone. Originally, when I was developing this journey, I was looking at writing sections 3, 4, and 5 of the California BDR to bring me over here to Beatty, and then making a loop, returning south on sections 2 and 1 of the Nevada BDR. And then I got this wild hair to think, well, let's extend it, do a little more in Death Valley, do section 6. And that was kind of my thought as I went throughout this journey, was to go ahead with that, to do that extended portion. But this morning I've decided to stick with the original plan. So from here we're going to continue down into Nevada and finish this up over the next couple days. Now, why did I decide to abandon section 6, you might wonder? Well, there's a lot of factors at play here. Some of them are personal, some of them are the weather, some of them are my bike. I don't know if you noticed, but when I've been taking off lately, there's been some rattling that didn't used to exist that I think is coming from like the left side of my bike around the clutch area. And I kind of wonder if something's going on there. So, I mean, it's held up. It got me through the sand, and I noticed it maybe a little more after that, I think, but it's like, I don't know that I want to stray farther. Section 6 is like 150 miles, 245 kilometers, the main route as it's drawn. And unfortunately, right now, Titus Canyon is closed. And that's part of my decision not to go on, is because that's a main highlight for me on that route. So I think I will just return someday whenever that gets fixed and maybe do a loop with the upper portions of this area. Also, the weather's getting ready to change. It's been very nice. Call me a wuss if you want, but there's a good chance of rain over that way today. This route on section 6 takes you over 7,000 feet of elevation. And if you've ever ridden at those elevations, you know the weather can change very fast. It could become hail or snow. You just never know. And I just don't want to deal with it. And I also just kind of need to get back to reality, as much as I would just like to ride forever. I have some work that I need to be doing. We do have 2 more sections of BDR to ride before this video ends, so be sure to stick around because I have not researched them hardly at all. Let me know in the comments what you think of the video so far. Let me know what I missed. I'm sure I missed something. I know I missed 20 Mule Team Canyon Road the other day. I meant to pick that up while I was over there, and it slipped my mind, so that's a little unfortunate, but I can check that out next time I'm up. I'm pretty well packed up. It's time to gear up. Let's hit the road.
Leaving the El Portal Motel behind us here. You know, the hotel was fine. It's nothing special. It's your like roadside hotel, right? I mean, I feel like the typical adventure rider is just glad to have a real bed that's clean and a warm room. And that's me after camping for several nights. Alright, before we head out on that Nevada BDR, got a little bonus surprise here from just outside of Beatty. Backtracking just a little bit on Highway 374 there. Gonna run over here and check out an old ghost town. That's one of the things that I really like a lot about riding out west here, is a lot of the mining history. This sounds like this will be no exception up here. It was, of course, a product of the gold rush era. I think this is probably not the easiest way to get there. You can stay on the pavement. The way it looks like this road is cut through here definitely makes me think it was probably an old rail line route. I mean, you don't just go to all the effort to cut a road through like this for no reason. It would have had to have been a railway grade to justify this. And you got these nice gradual curves to it and these fills. So yeah, definitely the old railway grade up here to Rhyolite, which is a pretty cool way to get there too. Oh, we can see the ghost town coming into view already. Coming into the ghost town of Rhyolite here. We have the depot, of course, essential part of every good gold rush town. As with a lot of gold rush era cities, its life cycle was swift but short. Development started in 1904 after gold was found in the area. By 1907, electricity had come to town. Population had peaked at about 10,000 people. But that same year, the financial panic struck, and that would start to mark the beginning of the end for Rhyolite. By 1911, they closed the mill and the mine. By 1916, the power to town was cut and it became a ghost town. Of course, no old west gold rush town would be complete without a jail. You can probably tell that's a jail from the heavy iron doors and the bars on the window. It wasn't one of those notoriously crazy Wild West towns per se, but they did have their first double murder in 1904 when 2 patrons at a local saloon got into a shootout. Didn't work out so well for either one of them. Some interesting stuff out here. Now, I can appreciate this piece of relevant sculpture, but I'm not entirely sure what this is. I've killed a couple hours with that side quest. Coming back into Beatty here to pick up section 2 of the Nevada BDR, taking us down to Pahrump. It's listed at just over 90 miles, or about 146 kilometers. That cloud, it's looking moody, I'm telling you. Could be an interesting day. Well, not very far out of town there. Getting off the pavement here, back onto the gravel. So this road is amazing. There's a mine back there somewhere that is maintaining this road, and our route does continue that way. We're going to take a really short diversion up here to see the historic Florentine post office. Can you imagine that at one time there was enough activity out of here to justify a post office?
When researching the Florentine post office, all I found was a single reference indicating it operated for a little over a year in May 1908 to July of 1909. I also didn't find much information on this mining district in general, so I'm not sure if it wasn't particularly successful, but ores included obviously fluorine along with gold, silver, and mercury.
The view from back here is pretty cool. I mean, the sun on those mountains at the moment, and we kind of got these big cumulus clouds moving in today, and that slightly dark one right there that looks a little ominous. I think we'll be okay over here. Alright, looks like we're jumping off of the main road here. Mine must be off that way somewhere, or the active mine, I should say, because I know there's mines back in here too. Up there on top of the hill, which we're probably working up that way some, it looks like an old AT&T Long lines tower. I find it fascinating how they were able to build and deploy that infrastructure in such remote places, and the engineering and technology at the time that went into those, you know, as a relic of the Cold War, of course now all disused. I got so distracted by the AT&T Long lines tower that apparently I took the road up to it, because this isn't our route, but we might go up there and see it anyway because I find them interesting.
That's funny, it's actually a waypoint on my map called Secret Pass Tower. I didn't even know it was a waypoint on my map, but I don't know if I marked it or if it was part of the BDR information, but that's funny. It was apparently some point of interest for me. They've just left it there because it's easier to leave it than take it down, so there's no transmission occurring from that. Now I'm guessing that this is some sort of a public safety or private repeater of some sorts for radio. Well, as much as I'd like to say it's a great place for a picnic, it's not today. My phone says it's 48 in Beatty, by the way, and I'm obviously not in Beatty anymore. And up there, even right here, the wind blowing through this valley is pretty strong and chilly. You can probably see why I missed my turn when I was looking at the tower, because I came up that road right there, which primarily seems to go to the tower. But our route here takes off on this lesser road to the left.
Lost some elevation pretty quickly through there. Falling back falling back into this valley.
Oh, getting kind of rocky down in here. Oh, that's really rocky right there. Little sketch right through there, but a little more speed might have helped. I do see some somewhat recent automobile tracks through here. Oh, I don't want to hit that too hard. Oh, God. An expert would have probably lifted the wheel and flew over that. That'd be the thing to do there, but not really quite in my skill set yet. Where's the road supposed to go? So guys, I missed a turn there, and I came straight across, followed what looked like the most common tracks there, and I was going to wind up at a mine over there. The route shows it turning down this wash, I guess, but yeah, I'm gonna walk over there and see where that goes. So our route goes down this wash here, not straight across as you might think if you're just looking forward. As you can probably guess or tell, it's pretty loose. A lot of riding in the wash there, but it's manageable.
Up out of the wash there. That was quite a ways through that. It wasn't too bad. It's just a bunch of like loose gravel, really. Luckily not sand. Off in the distance you can see the Big Dune. I don't know how close we're getting to that. I mean, I don't know how close that road goes to it. I think pretty close, and we can drive up to it, but we won't be going out on that. That's like crazy level. I mean, you gotta have the right kind of bike and the right set of skills for that. That's definitely not me or this. Big Dune Recreation Area. It's like an official place. Let's drive up in here a little closer and scope it out. We're not going on the dune, don't worry. We'll go back here a little ways till it turns, which might be pretty quick by my standards. Yeah, that's gonna be really quick by my standards. It looks like it gets pretty iffy pretty quick. There's somebody's radiator thing. Yeah. pretty deep.
Well, guys, that's as close as we're going to the dunes. I don't have the energy for that. Way too much work on that bike. But they're very cool looking. Yeah, guys, as usual, I went too far. Alright. That was not the brightest idea ever. I feel like she's about ready to take off. Oh God. Dumb. Here's a hot tip. Don't go past the picnic tables if you're not prepared or capable of dealing with the sand, because you ain't going to the dunes and getting really close to the dunes. And I mean, yeah, luckily the sand seems to be right over there in that one spot for the most part. The road's pretty good, knock on wood. I mean, I think under this gravel, if you break through the crust, like you'll see places where people have driven off the road just randomly, and you can see some spots where it's sandy. You definitely see people out through here and up around the dunes camping. No doubt those people are probably riding the dunes. They have a four-wheeled vehicle that's probably more suitable for it. You can obviously ride a bike on the dunes. People do. First of all, this bike weighs 400 pounds without any accessories on it, which my luggage comes off pretty easy, but that's not the point. Even if I just took the luggage off, my skill set doesn't qualify me to ride on sand dunes. Are we coming into some sort of town out here? It looks like there's something weird plotted on the map there. I mean, that'd be super awesome if there was a restaurant. It's 11:40 here. Some sort of farming community. I mean, you can see they're growing trees there. There's some greenhouses and stuff over there. Outside of that, I don't know what exactly this is out here. Well, we might have lucked out. Out here in the middle of nowhere, there's the Martel Market, which is maybe open. I think it is. The sign on the front said open, and then I realized the door was blocked. Well, that's quite the place. They have a restaurant, but unfortunately their chef was gone right now to take their children to the doctor, which you'd think you would schedule that so it wasn't during noon hour. But in this place we have a microwave cheeseburger, which I'm sure is not very good, but it was the best option available. Mineral water and 2 bananas. Haven't been able to find bananas for a while. Beggars can't be choosers, right? Well, actually, that wasn't too bad. I've paid more for less, I'll tell you that. And when you're out here in the middle of nowhere, you can't be too choosy. It's a little further across here on the pavement than I would have guessed. The wind, oh, the wind. Can you see I gotta ride the bike like this to keep it. Oh, come on. Not going too bad so far. Some sandy patches and some pockets of sand. Kind of got to watch out for. This looks like a more heavily traveled route here. It's still called Fairbanks Road according to my Garmin. The road made another bend and it has a new name now, the Bob Rood Memorial Highway. How many highways have you been on that are gravel? To my recollection, I've only ever been on one highway that was unpaved, and that's the Dalton Highway in Alaska from Fairbanks to Prudhoe Bay, which unfortunately was not on this bike. The bike did not exist at the time. We've made it to the Ash Meadows National Wildlife Refuge there. Gonna be driving through at least part of it. It looks like there is some things here to see. Now, I don't know how much we're gonna see and how much the route actually goes through it, or if we cut off at some point. And things like the Devil's Hole. That's just right there. That's not too far of a little walk, so, you know, we might go check that out. Yeah, the pupfish pond, that's pretty neat. It's too bad you can't get a little closer. Of course, they've had obviously trouble with people invading the pupfish habitat, so tried to get some video. I don't think I saw any pupfish. There's a few things that are straight ahead, which is not our route. Our route goes left there towards Pahrump, of course, but it's not that far, so let's run on up here to the reservoir and even the visitor center and see if there's anything worth seeing. We're this close. See some ducks or something out there. I don't see too much, honestly. Not too exciting. Let's go to the visitor center real quick. It never ceases to amaze me how the government can build such fantastic things in the middle of nowhere. I mean, look at that place. It's 2:30. Managed to kill some more time in there. That's alright. I probably got some useful information anyway. Or he gave me a better suggestion. Maybe go down here to an area called Point of Rocks, which is going to involve a little walking, but we might have a chance to see some pupfish, he says. There's a tour bus back in here. That's some insane tourism. I mean, that's a cool tour though. I mean, if I was going to be on a tour bus, I'd like to come back in here too, I guess. I'm pretty sure those are pupfish. Canyon that's a long ways below you.
So you can't, it's too far away to see anything.
Oh yeah, as small as these damn things are. Alright, back to the main route here. A few delays later. That's all right though. I enjoy stopping and seeing those things. That's why I'm out here. Not just out here to bounce down gravel roads. I know some guys are. That's never my entire prerogative. So you're definitely gonna spend some time to see some things along the way. It would be silly not to. So we're back here at the pavement. Just a small jump here on this, and then we're back off of it. All right, so Bella Vista was the pavement there, I guess. We were on Ash Meadows. Back on the gravel. Yeah, I mean, that was very short, so. And this will take us down here, eventually hitting, I think, the main highway that goes into Pahrump. Back to the pavement again. That was actually a pretty good road down through there. In BDR terms, it was a very good road. Buzzed right along. Now, I don't normally ride too fast anyway, but I had no problems going 45 and 50 on that. So, for me, that's pretty fast. We're not too far out of Pahrump now, which is the end of section 1 and 2. However you want to look at it, it's kind of weird because I'm riding it backwards. Section 1 from Oatman coming north ends here in Primm, and this is section 2 we're on. We'll be finishing section 2 up, coming down from Beatty. Coming into the edge of Primm here. Just gonna go ahead and grab some gas. Been 116 miles since I got gas there in Beatty this morning. That includes my little side quest over to Rhyolite Ghost Town, and of course my little bit of running around in the wildlife refuge. This is a pretty good sized town, and there's lots of restaurant choices. Won't be going to Subway, but we are going to go to McDonald's and see if they have their $5 value meal. And if they don't, I'm walking out and I'm going to a real restaurant. Alright, supper done for under $6. You can't beat that. Getting out of here could be interesting. Headed out of Primm here, or trying to get out of Primm. It's 4:45. Sun's gone in 30 minutes. And just hoping to get far enough out of town that I can find a place to camp for the night. I think this way. Just about missed my turn there. I was too busy enjoying that sun cascading the rays through that cloud there over the mountain. It's getting to be that time of day when that sun is going away. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but I just need to go here and find some place to camp for the night. Yeah, anywhere is fine now that we're out of town. We're not very far out of town, but I think this is all Bureau of Land Management stuff, so let's just peel off and find a spot. I don't know what these brown markers are supposed to say. They don't have any stickers on them. So
This is Bureau of Land Management on my map, so we should be good to just go out here and camp somewhere. We'll go out a little ways from the road there, get the tent set up before it gets dark.
This looks like the perfect spot here. Absolutely. Got section 2 of the Nevada BDR done, bringing us down from Beatty to here at Pahrump. We're 14 miles or 22.5 kilometers into section 1, which is listed as 166 miles or 265 kilometers from here at Pahrump down to Oatman. It's a little confusing, I know, because I'm riding this side backwards, but what we're trying to do is close up that loop that I started, bringing me back to pretty close to where I came from anyway, a little repositioning on the pavement once I get there. But we do have another full day of riding tomorrow. We'll jump back on section 1 south here, go to Oatman, see if we can find some more wild burros, hopefully not rifling through the trash cans at the gas station this time. But section 2 today, I mean, it was pretty mild really for BDR stuff. I enjoyed it, some good scenery and stuff, and I'm hoping section 1 continues in a similar fashion, so be sure to stick around for that. Thanks for joining me so far. We'll see you in the morning.
A wind advisory is in effect for southern Nevada until 7, with winds out of the south at 20 miles per hour and gusts to 30 miles per hour.
Well, good morning, everyone. Windy morning here in Nevada, just outside of Pahrump, where we camped last night. The good news is it's not too cold out. I know I look like I'm bundled up, but when you're just sitting around, it is a little chilly. We're going to wrap up section 1 of the Nevada BDR today, taking us down to Oatman. That's listed as 166 miles, 265 kilometers. Should be a good time, so be sure to stick around as we head out and see what it's all about. Thanks for joining me again.
7:40 here, headed out of the camp. Back on the BDR route, Nevada section 1, headed south towards Oatman on the pavement. I've actually never camped so close to town, but it worked out fine. It's close to town, but it's just instantly like remote. Wasn't very much further on the pavement. Now you can tell we've left the residential area by the condition of the road. It instantly went to more what I would expect. It's certainly very good by BDR standards yet, but definitely kind of more of a two-track type situation here. That sun's still pretty low in the sky this morning. I got a decently early start. I'd like to get into Oatman at a decent time because I got probably about another 60 miles of pavement from there to get to where I really need to go. The BDR will wrap up in Oatman. Come up to some paved road there. Don't know where that is or where it goes, but we're just crossing it. Now there's kind of a lot of these like little washes, and they tend to be like that, pretty abrupt. So for me, not something I want to hit too fast, unless you can just like make your bike fly across them, which should be cool, but there's so many roads out here that crisscross. It's kind of weird. This road like has old asphalt. I don't know what was back here at one time that justified an asphalt road, but near as I can tell, there ain't nothing back there today.
Oh hell, these are super severe sometimes. Like, this is deep right there, I can tell. There's been some spots and stuff like this, and usually not too bad, and it's usually not too far through it. So it's been pretty manageable. Oh, come on, baby, come on. Whew, we got through that one.
I'll jump on the pavement here for just a short bit to get us through this big metropolitan area of Sandy Valley. I don't know if there's much in Sandy Valley, but there might be something if you had to have it. Just a short buzz around the edge of town there, back on the gravel. This is Kensington Road, at least on my map. Kind of heads us to the northeast. We kind of came from the northwest down here, gonna head to the northeast now. And it looks like, I'm guessing it kind of skirts us up through this mountain range here. Coming into some sort of settlement here where the pavement ends or picks back up for me, I guess. I actually don't know what this is.
Looks like on the map this is Good Springs. I can't imagine that there's too much in this little village. It's got to be some sort of old mining town. It looks like miner shacks. Stopped for a little bit of a break, needed to change a GoPro battery and grab a snack. I was wanting to spit just a little bit of sprinkles now and then, but I don't think it's going to amount to anything. The wind's blowing pretty good. We're headed down here towards the interstate. I can see the interstate from here. Now we kind of angle down towards it and then parallel it for a little ways before we cross over. So we're making some progress. Not the fastest in the world, but that's nothing new, is it? Alright, so we're back in Primm. I was gonna go in there to the truck stop and get something to eat maybe, but I really don't like the options.
I'm gonna drive on the other side of the interstate here and just get Taco Bell. They do have a McDonald's in this town, which I ate last time I was here a few days ago. They don't honor the national promotions though. And also, I've hated enough McDonald's lately, I could probably pass on that anyway. So let's change it up a little bit. Well, I guess the Taco Bell wasn't bad for $9 and something. Not the greatest thing ever, but crossing back over the freeway here. Left Primm down there. Getting, this is Caleta. I'm not sure if that's how you say that, but another gas station there. And pavement ends. Thank you for the arrow. It's really helpful. So far, a pretty decent road here leading away from the interstate. It's kind of weird. It just parallels this fence, which looks pretty new. Coming into magical Nipton, established in 1905. So I wouldn't count on getting too much here in Nipton.
Just kind of looking ahead at the map there. It looks like we're going to be on this Joshua Tree Highway until we get over to Searchlight, which is the next town. Coming into the town of Searchlight, Nevada here. Looks like we'll be on the pavement for just a little bit longer, headed out of town, and then jumping off. Don't really think I need anything, but I might pull in somewhere, jump off the bike just to stretch my legs and take a break real quick. You probably can't hear me over the wind. It turns into like a 4-lane freeway coming out of there. Speed limit's 75. I can go 75 if I wanted to. The wind's gonna blow me off the road. Not really sure if that's what you're meant to do, but there's no crossover for this road. Alright, now we're on track. We've got back in this soft, fine gravel stuff again. We went from one Powerline Road to another. I don't know what the difference is, but this one's a little smoother, I'll say that. It's sandier too, but it's pretty firm in the tracks, so it hasn't really been an issue. The Powerline Road there dumped us out on Christmas Tree Pass. So I can only figure that's taking us up through these mountains over Christmas Tree Pass. I think I might have built a little hard on that rear shock crossing some of those things. Looks like there's some oil coming out of that. I'm a little curious as to why this is called Christmas Tree Pass, because there's definitely not any pines out here. This really is a pretty drive through here, the jagged rocks. We're in Bullhead City or Laughlin. I'm not really sure technically which this is here, but the fuel light's on. So it's probably a good sign we ought to pull in here and get some fuel. I pushed it a little bit because gas is $3 here, and yeah, it was like 5 something where I came from. Normally I'm not big on like risking running out of gas, so I'm glad we made it. Reserve light, I don't know, I can go like 20 miles after that, I think. Yeah, it's literally over $2 cheaper here. Alright, it was good to get a little break. I was looking at my watch and I'm like, oh, it's 4 o'clock. But We're back in Mountain Time Zone now, so we still got like 2 hours and 15 minutes to sunset. Be on the pavement for just a little ways and then turning off, cutting on the gravel down to Oatman. Watch for burrows, we've already been warned. Turned off the main highway there on the Silver Creek Road here. It looks like fresh asphalt, so I wonder if this has always been asphalted or if they just did this. I expect though at some point we will of course run out of that and be on some gravel. Yeah, as expected, that didn't last too long. That's alright. This is a pretty good gravel road, it looks like. Maybe some more sports, but rough road next 7 miles. Curves and mountain grades next 6 miles. That's what we came for. All right, well, we're rejoining a paved road here. I thought maybe it'd be gravel clearing to Oatman, but it wasn't, so that's all right either way. But burrow warning, look out for the burrows. Coming into Oatman here, it's actually quicker down here than I expected. It's 4:25. Faster than we could have took the highway around, I'm sure. Now this is pretty cool, downtown. Oatman's nestled here in the mountains at 2,700 feet elevation. Founded in the early 1900s, prospered with gold mining, of course. And yes, the iconic burrows. And you got some guy petting a burro. That burro doesn't know, but it's taking up a parking spot. That's going to do it for this BDR experience. I have a little ways to head on back myself, but I will leave you guys here in Oatman. It's been a fun one. I know it's been a pretty long one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you don't mind me publishing this out as one large video. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense for me to break these up. It kind of ruins the continuity of the story. And my days really never end at the sections usually. Over the past several days, we covered sections 3, 4, and 5 of the California Southern BDR, followed up with sections 2 and 1 of the Nevada BDR. That's over 670 miles or 1,072 kilometers of BDR itself. I rode about 800 miles or 1,300 kilometers in the end time I connected back and forth. It may be a while before I get another video out, but I have some things in mind. I will be headed to a new destination for the summer.
A super volcano. And each one of them points you see are plugs from inside the different cones that were in the caldera.
Are you feeding me full?
No.
Be sure to subscribe and stick around and see what that brings us. Thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Oh wow, they're both gonna work. That's a surprise. GoPro, you suck. What the fuck? So now it's decided not to record.